Imagine a world split, not by walls, nations, or the hands of men, but by choices invisible to the eye. On one side, those who chase the light, clinging to the whispers of heaven. On the other, souls wandering in shadow, unaware that a divide has quietly grown between them. Few see it, fewer understand it, yet it is unfolding before our very eyes. This is the hidden separation, the prophecy quietly weaving through the fabric of our time. The air itself seems heavier where the divide begins. Streets hum with mundane life, but beneath the ordinary, destinies diverge. Some hearts are stirred by a call they do not yet comprehend. Others drown in the comfort of ignorance. In this quiet tension, prophecy moves like a river carving canyons unseen, shaping lives and futures without the notice of those involved. Sages whispered of this in shadows. Prophets painted it in visions of fire, wind, and light. And now, as the world spins in its frantic rhythm, the signs emerge, not as cataclysmic roars, as subtle tremors. A child suddenly understanding a truth too deep for their years. A stranger offering mercy in a moment of despair. A fleeting insight that shakes the soul and asks silently, which path will you take when the light and shadow meet? Even the winds seem to carry secrets. Leaves flutter in uncanny patterns. Birds shift direction mid-flight. And the stars, silent watchers of time, glimmer in subtle alignment with events on earth. Those attuned to spiritual rhythm feel the pulse of prophecy beating under the surface of ordinary life. The city lights flicker, casting long, uncertain shadows. Streets teem with the busy, yet unseen, choices that define eternity. Here, humanity is tested not by armies or disasters, but by attention, by heart, by courage. The separation is not loud. It is a quiet reckoning. Even as the world hustles on, God's hand moves gently, yet decisively, behind the scenes. Some stumble, some awaken. The difference between them is subtle, invisible, and profound. A glance, a decision, a refusal, a prayer. They build the chasm between the wise and the foolish, between those ready and those asleep. One moment can mark a lifetime. A word spoken or withheld can echo across eternity. Few understand the timing, the scale, the quiet orchestration of destiny. The signs are there for those who look, yet the majority pass by, blind to the prophecy that has already begun to unfold. In ancient scrolls, the prophets spoke of days when the righteous and the wayward would move apart as naturally as light and shadow. The wheat and the chaff will separate, they warned, not through fire, not by sword, but through divine inevitability. And in the quiet corners of today, this ancient principle repeats. A father prays quietly in a dimly lit room. A young woman pauses mid-step, sensing a sudden call toward mercy. A man wrestles with pride, blind to the doors God is opening. Each choice, each moment, is a stitch in a tapestry far larger than the eye can see. The world is impatient. It clings to the visible, the immediate, the fleeting. But prophecy, like a patient gardener, waits, cultivates, and separates. Those who are awake feel the shift, a subtle awareness that time itself carries urgency. And the question presses, will hearts respond, or drift further into shadow? Perhaps this is our own hidden battle, the struggle between seeing and ignoring, between following truth and succumbing to comfort. The divide is spiritual, moral, eternal. It is not a barrier built by men, but a consequence of alignment or misalignment with God's unfolding plan. As the separation becomes clearer, confusion swells. Families, friends, communities, many unknowingly stand on opposite sides, divided by choices invisible to the untrained eye. The faithful, attuned to God's whispers, notice the patterns. Signs in nature, coincidences that carry weight, encounters that feel orchestrated, each a beacon guiding the willing through the fog of ordinary life toward eternal clarity. And sometimes the signs appear in moments of heartbreak. A loss, a failure, a betrayal. They seem cruel, yet within them lies divine instruction. The wise see opportunity in adversity. The oblivious pass by. The hidden separation unfolds silently, patient as a river shaping stone. Suddenly, the scene shifts, from city streets to desert sands, from bustling crowds to silent mountains. The message is universal. The hidden separation is everywhere. It transcends borders, time, and circumstance. It is a spiritual geography mapped by God's wisdom, awaiting recognition. Stories of old echo through this divide. Abraham stood alone on the hills, listening for God's direction. Moses gazed at the burning bush, trembling yet obedient. Esther risked her life for a people unaware of the danger closing in. Daniel walked in faith among those who could not comprehend the divine hand shaping events. Their lives were defined by alignment with divine timing. They stood, often alone, in moments when the majority could not perceive the unfolding of God's plan. And as their faith carried them, the separation became apparent. Those prepared, and those unready naturally diverged. Today, the principle repeats in subtler yet equally profound ways. Daily life is the proving ground. Each act of faith, each gesture of love, each moment of obedience or defiance contributes to the widening or narrowing of the hidden divide. Could the choices we dismiss as small be the very markers of destiny? Every seemingly insignificant moment may be the hinge upon which eternity turns. The hidden separation is also a test of perception. It asks, can you discern the subtle movements of God's hand in the ordinary? Can you hear the quiet call amid the cacophony of worldly distraction? Those who can, even in small measure, begin to step into alignment with divine timing. The faithful notice things others miss. A fleeting opportunity to help, a chance encounter that sparks insight, the inexplicable peace in a storm of uncertainty. These are the gentle signposts, invisible to the oblivious, yet monumental to those who see. Life itself becomes a classroom for those willing to learn. Faith is tested not in dramatic battles alone, but in patience, discernment, but small acts of courage. Every choice amplifies the separation. Every act of obedience draws nearer to light. Every act of neglect or pride distances the heart into shadow. Perhaps the most profound lesson is not about judgment, but about awareness. The hidden separation asks us to awaken, to notice, and to respond. As prophecy unfolds, clarity arrives not as chaos, but as revelation. The faithful recognize patterns, the hesitant pause, and some step into light, and others recoil. The hidden separation, long subtle, becomes undeniable, not as punishment, but as natural consequence. It is quiet, patient, inexorable. It is the unfolding of divine wisdom, the shaping of destiny through invisible hands. And it reminds us that God's timing is perfect, His patience unmatched, and His love unending. Pattern interrupt. The narrative shifts again from the ordinary to the extraordinary, from quiet rooms to storm-swept seas, from fleeting moments to eternal consequences. All threads of life weave into a single tapestry where divine intention becomes clear. The climax of prophecy is rarely what humans expect. It does not always announce itself with trumpet blasts or fire. More often, it arrives as sudden clarity, as revelation, as the unmistakable understanding that destiny has shifted, as that those attuned to God's will have been guided to this very moment. Faithful hearts feel a subtle tremor, a whisper in their spirit, a vision of paths converging. And then, in that quiet turning point, the hidden separation manifests. Clarity, alignment, awakening. Perhaps the greatest mercy of God is allowing the separation to unfold gently, allowing hearts to choose their place, while guiding those willing toward light. Resolution comes not as catastrophe, but as harmony. Those who respond to the call, however late, find peace. Those who ignore it remain not in wrath, but in shadow. Each soul stands exactly where their choices have led. The prophecy is not distant. It is here now. It unfolds in quiet moments, in choices, in whispers of conscience, in acts of love, in the courage to follow divine guidance. And for those who see, who listen, who choose wisely, there is hope, clarity, and the joy of walking alongside God's purpose. The hidden separation is an invitation to awaken, to discern, to act, to step into light even when the world prefers darkness. It is the unfolding of prophecy, a revelation of divine order, and a call to participate consciously in the shaping of destiny. The hidden separation is not punishment, but revelation. It is the unveiling of destiny, the quiet echo of prophecy, the invisible hand of God guiding the willing into light. While the world turns, often unaware, toward its own shadow, may we see, may we choose, and may we stand in the light before it's too late.